All right, before we get to your Freebae episode, let's say a big thank you. Thank you. I say thank you. If you are a two-peer in Alabama, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, and or Virginia, FBC Insurance can help you shop over 35 A-rated companies. New homeowner, flood, auto, motorcycle, boat, recreational vehicle, personal policy, you name it. Multi-policy, bundle discounts, all kinds of good stuff. Good people. 888-308-1841 or email them info@fbcinsuranceservices.com or get a quote online, fbcinsuranceservices.com. Or get a hold of me. I got a secret back line, and I don't mind giving it out. You'll talk to Obi. Good people. My wife, she's the guy. Yeah, I swing like that. I am RachelGuy@gmail.com. IAMRACHELGUI@gmail.com. Looking for a house either in Georgia or Florida or selling a house. She's your guy. She travels. She travels nicely. Need help? Get out. That's our buddy Dr. David Markwell with Ridgeline Counseling in Georgia. He's got 3 locations you can pop into. One across from Sprayberry High School in Sandy Plains, East Cobb, Marietta near the square, and McKaysville outside of Blue Ridge. But if you're like me and want to talk to the good doctor, you can do a virtual session. Real easy to set up. MarkwellTherapy.com or shoot him an email, ridgelinecounseling@gmail.com. And if you're a criminal like Branden, you need Manny Aurora's help, the Mad Dog is there. TheAuroraLawFirm.com, the best defense attorney in the country, no doubt. Based out of Georgia, but litigates all over the United States. White-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, whatever shit you're into, he'll get you out. And then Inspect All Pest Services, our title sponsor for Podcast Employees 3. Nick and the gang are tremendous, providing the highest quality termite, pest, and wildlife control, but that's not all, no. Insulation, pressure washing, gutter maintenance, and other home services in Metro Atlanta and the surrounding area. They are great, and you can meet Nick at Podcast Employees 3. He's going to be there. InspectAllServices.com. If you'd like to sponsor this show, we'd love to have you. People are surprised when I get on the phone with them like I have a sales staff or something. I don't. It's just me. So we can talk. Please reach out. TheBaileyShow.com. All my information's up there. All right, let's begin.
What do we want to talk about?
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Welcome to the Bailey Show podcast, a guy show women love to listen to.
Intellectually immature nonsense.
That's
BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
Okay, then, let's do it.
All right, there it is, episode 227 of the BS. Thanks for being here. It is a Freebae episode, so thanks for joining us. We hope when we're all done with this thing, you subscribe on thebaileyshow.com. Wishful thinking, you cheap bastards. That's okay. My wife won't eat tonight. That's fine. That's fine. There he is, the B-Man himself, cleaning his teeth in the video, which, by the way, this episode is up on our YouTube channel at The Bailey Show. Please subscribe to that. That's free, but if you want to see us and, you know, I'm a dip in my mouth and Chuck will eventually have a dip in his, and Brandon's cleaning his teeth, but there's the B-Man. Hello, B-Man. Branden.
Hey, I got to keep the hygiene up. And also, I sent another DUI person over to Manny. I need to start getting commission off this shit now. Like 2 in the past 2 weeks.
You should ask Manny. You see if you get a kickback. I bet you will.
Yeah, for what he charges, it's probably a pretty penny.
You'd be set for at least another year or 2, probably, right? And there he is, the Iron Fisted one, Chuck Lunsford. Hello, Chuck.
What's up, man? I feel good today. It's like way too hot, and I kind of miss living in the north right now, but that's okay. You know, comes with the territory.
You don't need to come down here to Florida and tell you what's hot. I love it. Somebody said to me the other day, like, man, don't you miss that good weather in Georgia? And I'm like, well, one, it gets hot in Georgia. It's a lot hotter here. There's no doubt about it. But, you know, I say this over and over again. I love the Florida heat. I love the humidity. I like getting out of the shower and sweating. Love that stuff.
But why would you want to live somewhere where there's a hurricane and nobody even knows about it? Like,
Yeah, there's one right now, isn't it?
I don't know. I turn on the news like, yeah, Florida's getting pummeled by a hurricane, and you're like, wait a minute. Didn't they used to tell us like days in advance? Now it's like you wake up and you're like, oh, we're in the eye. Well, that's good.
It's hurricane season, and it was, I think, Hurricane Debbie, a tropical storm turned in, and it went out, and then came back in, and we just got beat up with a lot of water. The Panhandle got it worse, and then Georgia will get rains and stuff. But you know what? I'm thinking of putting a home generator in, and the only reason I'm putting a home generator in is so I just know there's going to be a storm, and it's going to come through when I'm recording, and we're going to have like the best show ever. And I've got a little backup, I've got a backup for this. That'll give me about 45 minutes, but I need shit for like a week,
Didn't that happen to me? Did you guys like just talk about me for a second and then just assume I was okay when that happened to me like 10 episodes ago?
Yeah, we barely even noticed you weren't here.
You're so stagnant. I don't know why I set myself up to just be blasted by Brandon. I mean, seriously, when that happens, what do? You're just like, well, there goes Jason. Like if we were to lose you,
Well, that happened. I think the same episode. I think it was there towards the very end. Jason's crash too.
Yeah,
went out.
It lasts like 30 seconds as I was wrapping up. But I go back to when Chuck wasn't on. I don't remember.
I think it was the same. Yeah,
you're such a dick.
it's hard to remember he's here.
I mean, you guys remembered. I know that it hurts your hearts to mention it or say it, but you guys remembered. You were both sad. You were texting me. Both of you were like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" And then I think Jason's next text was, "You're an idiot. Why don't you have a backup battery? Why don't you spend the $1,200 on it? You're stupid for not doing that." And I'm like, okay, well, thanks for caring.
Am I stupid for texting you about the backup battery, or are you stupid for thinking they're $1,200?
The one you want me to get is the Mac Daddy. Like you don't go Temu. Like you go straight like, oh, that's the highest quality. Like, okay. You're thinking about getting a generator for your home. What brand, sir, would you consider for your home?
There's only one option.
Now there's a couple.
Well, really, there's only one option.
What, the one Home Depot sells?
Oh, Generac.
The Generac, yeah, or Kohler.
I was going to say Ridge. Isn't it Ridge?
I don't know if Ridge has. So there's. I was talking to my buddy who is the owner of Northern Tool Rental, and he gave me some websites. There's some auction sites, like Sunbelt has an auction site, and one of their auction sites, like you can go in person, is Orlando, and they sell, heavy machinery, home generators, so on and so, lawnmowers, and all the man stuff. But there's the home generator. If I were to buy one, it's about $6,000, and then you have to get somebody to install it. Well, I've got Jeremiah fucking samples, so I'm going to get a good deal on the installation of it. But it's a good investment, and I can write it off at the end of the year because I'm using it for the show. So I need as many write-offs as possible.
You already have gas at the house?
That's the other thing, is I do have a propane tank, but it's a small one. It's only like 100 pounds. Gallons. Yeah. So I only have 100 gallons. At the cabin, we put in a home generator, which saved our ass. Like we had guests up there during winter and the power's out for like a week, and we had a 500-gallon propane tank, and they went through the whole thing. That lasted a little over a week.
Ooh, yeah, I have a 300-gallon up there right now, and it lasted most of the winter.
You don't have like a gas line though going to the house. You just have an in-ground tank.
It's above ground.
You talking to me or him?
Either or. None of y'all have gas lines from the street, like the gas company.
No, that's God's country, baby. They don't offer that.
Yeah,
so I'm talking about in the middle of the fucking mountains. I'm talking about at your regular houses.
Yeah, mine's on the side of the house. It looks kind of trashy. I got a 100-gallon tank on the side of the house. but I can spit off of that to like my kitchen setup, for my grill, so I don't have to get propane. It's just another thing to do. What I've learned is I love projects. So always doing something. I installed so I had some irrigation installed the other day. I was going to ask you to come down and do it, but I knew you wouldn't do it. So I had some irrigation because I needed a couple heads put in for these plants.
You want me to come down for a couple heads?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, next time you need a couple heads changed, I'll come down about 800.
Well, that's okay. 800 was about what I paid, so. Okay.
For a couple heads? Damn.
Well, he was doing a couple other things, but I installed the water sensor on, so I've got
rain sensor.
So yeah, rain sensor. So I got a rain bird. It came with the house, right? They had it, but for some reason, their Rainbird irrigation system hit that weird Wi-Fi window like 2016, where not everything was Wi-Fi, but a lot of things were Wi-Fi enabled. You know, there was that like that 3-year gap of things where technology, like people would be like, well, you can upgrade it to Wi-Fi if you buy this extra thing. For some reason, fucking Rainbird did that in like 2015, 16, 17, where they had some of their systems that were Wi-Fi enabled, which means that you have to spend an extra $100
Yep.
for like a USB, thing that you plug into it in order to connect to Wi-Fi. So then you got to spend an extra $100 for the rain sensor. But I put it all together.
What is a Rainbird?
It's a company. It's a big
Irrigation company.
Oh,
Not as good as Hunter, but they're all right.
It doesn't collect like rain or something, and like from like the rain, like it does. I don't get what is the sensor
The
for?
name of the company. Well, the rain sensor, when it gets wet, it depresses a little button in there. It's got a little sponge, and it tells the controller not to run.
Yes.
So your sprinklers will come on.
Yeah. Save you money.
A rain sensor is not a Rainbird only product, though. It just means it senses when there's rain.
Correct. Thank you for explaining.
What if you pee on the sensor?
It'll turn off.
That's awesome.
Usually it's on the roof. It's in the gutter, usually.
You think Chuck, a homeowner, would be more, I don't know, man?
No, dude, I turned my freaking irrigation system off when I paid that $800 water bill. I'm never turning that thing on again. Everything's dying. My bushes are dying. I got to figure out how to replace them. I don't care. I let it all die. I'm not spending that money again.
He owns a tree service, and you would think, he's in the military. You would think Chuck was more.
Because I don't know about a rain sensor, and I don't do irrigation. I don't care about irrigation, especially now. I'm anti-irrigation.
Well, I'm very pro irrigation because my good friend Branden Thrasher is the best at it, and I want to learn more from him.
There goes Chuck again, not supporting me.
Oh God.
Thank you, Branden. See, again, I don't lie to you. I support you, unlike the guy that bashes your profession. What a dick. The guy owns a tree service and is not man. Like, I don't know. I just thought you were more man than what you are. Like,
You're talking about irrigation systems. Anything else, I'm good, man. You want to build a deck? Let's build a deck. You want to cut down some trees? Let's cut down some trees. But when you're talking about sprinklers,
well, you couldn't fix your AC the other day. Your poor family was burning up for weeks.
Hey, and I got it at $1,300 out the door instead of $4,500 because I'm smart and I took advantage of American Home Shield.
Branden, you would probably agree that, and this is really hard for me to say because I know who I am, and I know I'm not the best to do it yourself and all that stuff. But you could make an argument that I'm more man than Chuck when it comes to this stuff. Right, Branden?
Oh man, I don't know. Sometimes y'all are about the same, man. Like some of the things y'all bring up and talk about, I'm like, damn, dude, that's like a 5-minute thing to do. How did you not know that?
Chuck,
Y'all might be in the same boat. You might just be at the front of the boat. Chuck's in the back paddling.
Are you kidding me? He has a guy that he brings in from another state to live with him to build things.
Together.
Who does that?
Together. We built them together.
No, you didn't build together. You paid him to come live with you to do it.
I think he just took pictures while he did it.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, hey, Jeremiah, you got to take your shirt off if you want to work for me.
No, I went out and there were times where I went out and I got on the thing and I went,
I got on the thing.
And then I brought the wood into him, and because he told me
I've never done that. I have a friend that builds houses out in San Antonio, Texas, and we're pretty close. And I said, hey man, I tried to get him to come out and work on my cabin up in Blue Ridge. I said, I need a bunch of decks, and I said decks. I need a bunch of decks that are coming down from the back. And I said, it'd be cheaper to have you come out, take a 1-month vacation with the family, live there, and build these decks. And he's looking at it, he's like, yeah, honestly, man, it's just going to be cheaper for you to have somebody else do it that lives local because of the cost. And I'm like, but that's the only time I did it. It's just really about time. Like I'll hire people to do things if it's going to save me. Like what's more important, Jason, your time or the money that you would spend somebody to go do it for you?
I don't know. I find satisfaction in building things just with my bare hands. The other day I took a big oak in the back and carved it up and made a thing for somebody to get married under.
Yeah. What was the DBH on that oak?
Yeah, probably 18-ish.
That's actually not bad. That was a pretty good guess. That was good. I'm impressed that you were actually able to throw that number out there. I thought you were going to say like 148.
No, that's ridiculous. Of course, it's around the 18 number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. You don't know what DBH is, though, do you?
I do. Do you? That's the
Yeah. You don't know what it
Yes,
is.
I do.
Don't even act like you know what it is.
Yeah. It's depth per height.
No, it would be the width of a tree at breast height. So
Okay.
just from side to side at breast height, which 18 is pretty common.
Yeah. So when I learned it, that's what we called it.
Well, either way, you're not more manly than me ever in life, but that's okay because we hang out. You know what I mean? So because we all hang out, some of us are going to be stronger in some man things than others. Brandon's got the whole irrigation thing down, you know?
And I'm working on a car. I didn't even told you I bought a Mustang.
What year?
08.
Oh, that was a classic.
Looks good. I like it. You don't like an 08 Mustang? I got it because it's a V6 too. But I already ripped the engine out and transmit. Okay, you're laughing. How do you even take an engine out of a car, you bitch?
he said, just bought a classic Mustang. What
I
year?
did not say a classic.
Oh, wait.
You're hearing shit.
You should see the fiberglass we're redoing. It's sweet.
Like
Good looking car.
What is the least sought after Mustang of all time? Probably the 08.
That looks so good. You don't like those?
No, actually, I think it's like 72 to answer your question.
Ugh, the Mustang 2?
No, 1970. Like
I know, but they were called the Mustang 2s, weren't they?
they look like extended Pintos.
Is that the ugly one with the hatchback? The thing?
Yeah. So let me tell you a quick Mustang story. Okay, I'm not a car guy. We know that. I'm just joking. Chuck is way more manly than me. All right, let's just get it all out in the open. Okay, I openly admit that. So this girl I was dating in high school, I was a freshman and she was a sophomore, and she had just gotten her license. And this is where, do you remember me telling that intern that he smelled like dirty cotton panties? Remember that?
That was that Jacob? I think it was Jacob. Was
the
that
kid
Gabriel?
got all mad, and of course, like supposedly wanted to beat me up. And
Oh no, it was the black guy.
Yeah.
Jamal or something like that.
and Nikki was always like, "Oh, he's going to kill you." You know, this whole thing. Like, fucking relax, people. Actually, I got that line from this girl because she lived in a trailer park, and I remember going over to her house one time, and it smelled, and I couldn't put my finger exactly what the smell was, and I remember looking on the floor and seeing dirty cotton panties. So ever since then, I'd always say that smell was dirty cotton panties. It was a joke in my head. So that's where I said it to the kid that took offense to it and he got all pissed off and quit. But anyway, so this girl calls me and she says, "Hey, I just got a car." She's got her license, just got a car. I'm like, "Oh, sweet, come pick me up." And I said, "What did you get?" She goes, "I got a Mustang." Now, take into consideration, this is, I was in high school, 89 to 93. So the Mustang at the time, the big Mustang was, Mustang 5.0 was boxy looking. It was red with a gold.
Box bodies.
What's that?
Box bodies is what they're called.
Okay. So that was the big Mustang at the time, and I'm thinking, and I thought that car was cool. I thought it looked cool. And so I thought that's what she got. If not, it was going to be, the classic 69 or whatever the classic Mustangs are, knowing nothing about cars. And there's a status to your car. There's an image to the car, right? I lived in a nice neighborhood, and my stepfather at the time was an elitist. He would judge people on their cars. So there was a lot of pressure on me to whoever pulled up that they had a decent car. It was a weird thing. So she pulls up in this white Mustang 72, whatever you call it, a Mustang 2. And I'm like, what the shit is that? Had like carpet in it and whatnot. And I'm going, I was embarrassed. And I feel horrible even telling this story because I sound like such a snobby, narcissistic, elitist asshole. But at the time, that's the way, that's the house that I was brought up in. And I was like, God, this is the ugliest fucking Mustang I've ever seen in my life. like, I don't want to go anywhere. Just leave. I don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah. Now, Brandon, you got the big one though. The one like pretty much the same model they have now, right? It's the same body style.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, like I said, I like it. It looks good. Hard top. It's like a grayish color, silver. It's like it's like an Eleanor color, surprisingly.
Ooh, Eleanor. He pulled out the Eleanor.
Does it
It's
drive?
kind of like the color on it, but it's obviously not an Eleanor Mustang.
Does it drive?
No, I ripped the engine and transmission out.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Well, it was I want it because it's a V. I got it for 1,200. The V6 is going to be cheaper on insurance. Pulled the engine transmission out. I already sold the engine to some Amigos for 400. So I'm only like 800 into this car. It only had 160,000 miles. So then we'll put a 542 valve supercharge in there. It's basically going to be a GT 500.
That's what I would do too.
But you're only going to have to pay for the insurance on a V6.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what us car guys do. The other day, I bought a brand new Tesla, ripped the battery out, replaced it.
There are people doing that. Put gas engines in there.
Yeah, it's badass. Just driving around town. My Tesla, supercharged battery. I got 2 batteries in there with NOS, so I can go fast.
He said NOS.
Yesterday's episode, I was, or Tuesday's released episode, I was telling about the story when I took bees to school. What I forgot to mention is going up to Alabama, and I'll do the same thing when I come up to Georgia for Podcast and Pours, October 12th. Get your tickets now before prices go up. TheBaileyShow.com or DistinctGrace.com. Is I go on a dip tour because dip in Florida is so expensive. It's $10 a can. So as soon as I hit, is it Dothan or Alabama? Dothan.
Dothan, yeah, baby.
Dothan.
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 With an N.
Dothan. Okay. So as soon as I hit that, I stop. There's a gas station right there. I stop there and on the way back. And then
why are you going through Dothan, Alabama if you're coming from Orlando?
That's the way my GPS takes me.
It takes you like an hour out of the way.
No.
180, what, 185?
You should be taking 75 all the way up.
No. God, no.
Talking about.
Yeah,
No.
you're shooting over to 85.
Oh my God, you guys sound like you're old people right now with your directions. Man, you got to go 75 to 240.
Either way, you got to go to a Buc-ee's, man. Have you seen the Buc-ee's dip prices right now?
No, are they good?
Oh my God. It's like buy 4 cans, get 1 free. And if you're going in there heavy, if you're going in dealing heavy, I mean, you could buy them out and probably get like 30 free cans.
This information would have been good a week ago. Yes. Thank you for telling me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because you went to Alabama. Oh, that's why you went through Dothan. I thought you meant when you come up for Podcast and Pours 3.
Oh my God, follow the show, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, either way, in October, hit Buc-ee's.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Chuck, for 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. You going to pick me up on the way? You got to go up 85 anyway.
Sure. I don't care.
75.
Just
Why
as
would he
long-
go 75? Out of the way.
Just as long as you're at the exit. I'm not.
Yeah, I can do that.
too
I can be
far-
on that bridge. You know, you saw that bridge that one time? I'll just jump off the bridge.
If you have a sign for me that says, "Hey Bailey," I will pick you up.
Okay.
I mean, like a sheet hanging, like, the juice is loose. I will pick you up. Yes, you can. That's right. So anyway, I go on the dip tour, and I'm going into every gas station. Like, I'm stopping to fill up every half tank. Right. I usually do that anyway, but I have to do it now to get dip. And I'm buying out every gas station, not only Skull Long Cut Mint, but also now Copenhagen Long Cut Mint that I love. And I'm going every gas stop that not including gas, I'm dropping like $150. So I'm going through, I must have stopped 3 times on the way up and 3 times on the way back. Now I have bags and bags of dip. Now the problem is I've got to dip it before it goes bad. And we got to put it in the fridge, of course, but I've got so much dip now. And I'm going to do the same thing when I come up. I came back, my back seat, like one of the seats in my back seat was just filled with dip. It was like,
They don't have an expiration date on them.
They get dry, though.
Yeah, but there's no expiration date. I'm looking at mine right now. There's nothing.
on the back, there's a date.
Mine just says R31C2BE4.
Yeah, that means it expires in 8 months.
You're stupid. That's not what that means.
It does.
How does it mean that?
Dip has an expiration date to it.
There's no expiration date. I'm looking right at it.
See, again, going back to who's more manly. He doesn't even know dip has an expiration date.
You're telling me R31C2BE4 is an expiration date?
Yes. What do the letters and the numbers, and it'll turn out to be a month.
It starts with an R. That's
Yeah.
not true.
And what's the number? What's the number that R goes to in the alphabet to a letter?
I don't know what
It's a
you're
code.
It's not a code. They don't put codes on expiration dates. You'd never figure it out.
They did, well, you should.
Wait, what was it? R1?
R31C2BE4.
October 12th, 2024.
Yeah, I think it's in the third quarter or the fourth quarter of the year.
They're stupid.
Haven't you ever gotten dip before and it's dry?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It can go bad, but I don't think it has an expiration date because it already says on it, this product may cause mouth cancer. I don't think they care if it's like, oh, it's bad. Duh, dummy. Stop putting it in your mouth.
Does dip have an expiration date? There we go. Yes, dip containers often have a date printed on them that indicates when the dip will remain fresh if unopened. Once opened, the manufacturer may recommend consuming the dip within 10 to 14 days for best flavor and freshness and to refrigerate it as directed on the label.
Does yours have a date on it?
I don't have it with me, but they all do.
Mine says July 1st, and then I ripped off the part where it says 202. I don't know the number.
No. I think yours is at the bottom of the dip. When you're done, you see it.
Well, it might be actually open the lid and look on the top.
It just says Grizzly Outdoor Course, living our dreams because they gave up theirs.
On the inside of the can on the lid, it says that.
Yeah. And then on the side, it says we're giving $1 MM to our GOC partners. What does that even mean? 1 MM?
Yeah.
American money.
Yeah.
$1 million, I imagine, but why MM? I've never seen that. No, there's no expiration date. Either way, this never goes bad. So if you guys are ever in an apocalypse, grab Grizzly wintergreen pouches to have nicotine forever.
Grizzly never goes bad, but the rest of Grizzly's kind of the poor man's dip anyway.
It's the Care Bear, what they used to call it back in the day.
It's pretty patriotic, if you ask me. It's got a soldier on the front of it, which tells me it's the man's can.
The man's can. I like it. So I went to a radio event the other week. My old station here in Orlando, WJRR, they're kind of like sister stations. There's one in Jacksonville called Planet, and it's one of the heritage rock stations in the country. And my buddy, who is like, I don't know his title. He's got some big title, but he's like senior vice president of programming. He's in charge of both of them. And I go up there, and there's a guy that works for both stations, but I think he programs the Jacksonville station. His name is Chumley. He's actually Barry from Shinedown's brother. And he's a good dude. I've known him on and off, not close over the years. We've crossed paths and stuff like that. Very talented, old school radio guy that does it right. And I'm sitting, it's funny because I went to this event, and then I see a post from another friend of mine who is a president of a restaurant, a very big restaurant chain. And he took the time to make a post about radio. And he's like, I don't understand how anybody listens to radio anymore. There's like 15 minutes of commercials. Whoever's talking is pointless. I don't want to hear what they just really bashed and what he said wasn't necessarily wrong, but you cannot win as a radio personality and or a DJ when you open your mouth, because you can't please everyone. Even if you're a robot and you're like, here's a song from Stone Temple Pilots on fill-in radio station, somebody's going to have a problem. You're too much of a robot. You're not entertaining, blah, 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 blah. You can't win because you're in the public spotlight. So he wasn't necessarily wrong. He was right in his own opinion. The commercials, he was spot on. There's no doubt about that. So I see these things, and of course, I still love the industry, even though I'm a full-time podcaster. And it scars my soul to see what's happening to the industry. But I go to this radio event, and I haven't been to many radio events lately because when I worked in California, they just didn't fucking do them. They didn't know how to do them. I did one that I did, and I was trying to show them how to do it, and I got in trouble for it. I got in trouble for doing a successful charity event. Can you imagine that? Like, I did my job because no one else knew how to do their job. I didn't do it to put it in their face. I did it because it needed to be done, and I got in trouble for it. Can you believe that?
I mean, you get in trouble a lot.
Yeah, I say you do get a lot of trouble.
I know it's like
radio.
It's so weird. I got in trouble the other day when I was doing something with radio. Yeah, I mean, you get in trouble a lot. I mean, I think it's because you put yourself out there, man. You are not afraid to step on toes, and if you think you're right, you take it all the way, which there's something to be said for it, but you also got to take that with it. You're going to get in trouble.
I don't always think I'm right. I just like to do the right. Hold on. I don't always think I'm right. I just like to do the right thing. There's a difference.
You mean there's like one of those, your heart's bigger than your brain?
It's nothing like that.
I think the term is his heart was in the right place.
Oh, even though he's wrong?
Yeah, sometimes.
Tell me a time when I was wrong.
Oh man, I got to bring the list back up.
That's low hanging fruit, man.
No, well then go. Tell me, please.
Well, when you moved to California.
Yeah, that was a good one.
We're not talking about professional choices. I mean, I wasn't wrong when I went. I was wrong when I got there. But that was all me. That was a bad. I mean, that's the biggest error I've ever made in my career. Maybe.
Okay. How about the when you rented the house you were in before this one that you're in now?
Well, it wasn't wrong. It was just, first off, I didn't find the house. Rach found the house, but we had no choice. We were stuck. We were in a situation. We had to live somewhere. That's not a good example. I asked in the business, Branden, and Brandon's going to know. Chuck, you won't know. When was I wrong? You've worked with me for a long time. Tell me a situation where I was wrong. And if I was wrong, then I didn't admit it. I'll admit when I'm wrong. Tell me something.
Let's see here. I'm trying to think of a bit. I remember sometimes because I remember we had this discussion when we first did the podcast, and me and Nate ended up starting a Excel spreadsheet, but I don't know where that was of every time you were wrong, but I can't find it. But off the top of my head, I mean, if you would have let me know in advance, I could have probably got a whole sheet put together for you.
I did not know this conversation was coming up, so I could not tell you. There's a difference between being like, you have to define what is wrong, right? Like the situation that I was just talking about in California with doing the event and getting in trouble for putting together a successful charity event during Christmas, and I was wrong, is absurd to even say out loud. I wasn't wrong for doing it. I was right, and everybody knew I was right for doing it. When I say I was wrong, I'm kind of saying it tongue in cheek, because those people who are fucking robots, they didn't like it because it showed them up. I mean, it made them look silly. That was not my intention at all. My intention was to get the brand of the radio station and the show out because they weren't doing it. That's what we do. We get out in front of people. We meet people. We give back to the community. We entertain people. We evoke emotion, which is a lost, I guess, art form in the radio business, because nobody wants to put the effort into doing these things. That's wrong, in my opinion, because we are hired and I was getting paid a lot of money to do these things. They weren't allowing me to do these things, so I forced myself to do the thing because it needed to be done. And when I say I was wrong, I wasn't wrong. I was right in every way. They thought I was wrong because they were embarrassed that they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, But yet now I see them try to do events like the guy that's in charge is a mark for Formula One. I get it. Formula One's a big thing, but nobody here fucking cares. So they did a Formula One event at a fucking sub shop and no one showed up. And they had this dumbass doing social media that takes pictures and shows that no one showed up because he had to do something because he thought it was going to be huge because he's a fan and nobody else is a fucking fan. Like, read the room, dude. Nobody's going to fucking go to a sub shop and watch a Formula One car race. Like, are you a fucking moron? I mean, like, that, when I saw that, I'm like going, oh my God, he fucking actually did.
That's embarrassing. Formula One?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that's like one of the least popular, I don't know if it's a sport. That's one of the least popular sports in America.
Yeah, well, the problem is it's more popular among younger people, and younger people aren't listening to the fucking radio.
And they're not going to a sub shop to watch a fucking race.
No, they're not.
Like where there's one TV, in the back. It's just dumb. Anyway, so I go to this event that is put on by Planet Radio, and they had this band that's a Florida band. The band's called Fame Defier, and they've got a radio hit. They're really good. They're actually exceptionally good. And it was at a beach restaurant and bar called Tides, which is it's been around for a very long time. It's on the beach. and they had, and I'm sitting there off to the side, watching, his name's Chumley, watching him host it as the radio personality. And I'm watching promotions, which, by the way, promotions means you're in charge of promoting because it's in the word. And I'm watching these girls do the promotions, and they're all they're doing exceptional at their job, exceptional. And I hadn't seen this in such a long time. And I go over to my friend, the big boss, and I said, this isn't, I don't want to use the term old school radio event, but it is, but it works. And then there's people there that are enjoying themselves. People that drove up from Jacksonville, from Orlando, people that drove up from St. Augustine, they came all over to see this band play acoustically at this beach bar where it was a beautiful day, beautiful weather, drinks. I mean, what else could you ask for, right? A national act playing for free at a beach bar on a beautiful Florida day, and a radio station promoting itself and giving out swag, as we call it, t-shirts and stickers and all that stuff. But the problem with radio now is they think that that's outdated. It's an outdated concept, but it's not. There are certain things that will always work. And it's the simple fact of getting out, having a draw, the band is the draw, having a staple, a base, the radio station, promoting said event. When they get out there, interact. And then that's how you get listeners, and like the place that I was at before, did I tell you the story of the promotions girl there? I remember when I got there in Sacramento, there's all these live concert venues, really cool live concert venues. There's casinos that have live concert, live music with big name bands that were coming in. Shinedown, Three Doors Down, Disturbed, you name it. All these big bands were coming in. There's a small bar downtown Sacramento called Ace of Spades, which was pretty cool. Like Wolfgang Van Halen played there. It's kind of it's old legacy type of place, dirty, grungy, good rock place, And I would be giving away tickets all the time to these things, but we were never out there. We were never calling it Radio Station Presents. And we were never there on stage saying, hey, welcome. Old school stuff, stuff that radio people have been doing forever. And I go over to this promotions girl. She's a young girl. She's not a radio person. I think she came from TV. She always had a chip on her shoulder. I was at a disadvantage when I got there because I was a guy coming from a major radio market to a smaller market. And that's not a big deal. It's just, there's a difference, right? There's a stigma to it, I guess. So I didn't want to come off as like, I know it all. So I walk over to her, and the way that everything was set up was everybody was out in the open. It was like this communal Google techie type of thing, which a lot of radio companies are doing now. And I'm not a fan of it, but whatever. So I go over and she's got headphones on and she's doing work, but I wanted to ask her a question. So I waited patiently, and she kind of looks over. She sees that I'm there. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait. And then she puts her finger up and she says, she just kind of waves me off. Like, hold on. Kind of rude, but okay. So she takes her headphones up and goes, what's up? And I said, do you mind if I ask you a question? And I said it exactly like this. I know I did because I was walking on eggshells. I said, do you mind if I ask you a question, please? And she goes, what? And I said, well, with all these concerts that I see happening in town, we're giving away tickets, and these are our core artists that we play on the radio station. Is there a reason why the radio station's not out there? And the reason I ask you that is because, if you need a talent to go out there, I'm not asking to get paid, but, to do stage announcements, to stand under the tent, to meet listeners, I would be more than willing to do that. As a new show, we need to meet as many people as possible. I'll never forget this. She pauses, she swivels her chair towards me, she crosses her arms, she leans back, and she says, sell me on why that's a good idea. I almost fucking lost it. I go, where am I? That was the second I knew I was in the wrong place. I go, oh my God, how does the promotions manager ask that question? That blew me away. And then that's when I knew I was going to have to do it myself. And that's when I got in trouble for having a successful charity event. But going back to this event that I went to in Jacksonville, and the only reason I bring this up is, and I'm doing this on the Freebae episode, is because I'm commending them for doing it, is that I was overly impressed when I didn't have to be impressed, because it's how it's supposed to be. And both of those gentlemen know that, you know, and I saw the listeners and I saw the people, and I even saw a couple of my old listeners from Orlando that were there, you know, and I was like, that's how you do it. And there were listeners that didn't even work for the radio station that were pitching in. They were just helping out because they love the product and they love the brand and they love being a part of these types of events. And I was just like, this is how it's supposed to be. And it gave me faith that there are still radio stations. I mean, I know the guy that's in charge, and I know that the way he thinks, and I know his mindset. He's one of the most brilliant guys that are still in the radio business, as we call him, one of the good guys that are left. And I'm going, this is how it's supposed to fucking be. You know what I mean? You take, and they did an event earlier the night before with the same band for the Orlando rock station, where they had sent them to a listener's house for them to play in their living room, right? And that's a bit that I had done years and years ago. I'd broadcasted from a listener's house. You know, I just thought that was cool. I mean, who wouldn't want a fucking radio show in your house, right? It was kind of neat. And if you can do it nowadays, it's easier than ever to do it. And they had done it the night before. And I was like, why don't you, I'm picking the wrong fucking spots. It's like, I'm going to the wrong fucking places. You know, it's like, it's so simple. It was so cool. But I couldn't believe that I was blown away by how simplistic of an event it was. You know what I mean? Because that's how it's supposed to be. That's just how it's supposed to be. You know, you can say radio's dying all you want, but when you have stations that are still doing those types of things, there's an audience for that. I don't care who you are. If there's a band that you like and you don't even listen to them on the radio, you listen to them, you stream them on Spotify, and you find out your local radio station is bringing them to a beach bar for free 5 blocks from your house, are you not going to go and go, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. I might listen to this radio station.
I think it's bigger if you, like, I'm a huge fan of when you guys were doing concert tickets, and one of your previous employees used to be really, really good about that, about doing events down in Atlanta. You'd show up, and I don't know if you remember Matt Jones. I love Matt Jones. Great guy.
Yeah.
And he got me into Guns N' Roses. That's one of the reasons I went that night, was I got those tickets there, and I had some other tickets that weren't as good. But I think that's a draw, you know, when you have events and you can go out there and meet some of the guys, and as long as it's a cool event, you know, obviously there's some things that have changed over the years. You can't do some of the stuff you used to do. You talk about that all the time. But you can still do like the fun games, the concert tickets. Live band is even better. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just, but you don't see that anymore. That's dying all over America.
But it's unfortunate because you can make an event out of anything. I mean, you've got the Olympics going on right now, right? You could.
Is that bigger than Formula One?
I don't think anything's bigger than Formula One. It's so huge. It's such a. You know what? I remember him telling me, he's like, Formula One's big. I got it. This dude was such a mark for Formula One. We would go to the casino and he would pick his roulette numbers based off of Formula One drivers. And he'd be like, number 33 is Pedro Marcanosis. It's going to hit. It's going to hit. I'm like, what a fucking. There's a reason why you don't have a girlfriend. That and a million other reasons. But, you know, you take the Olympics, you know, set up find a sport that people are attracted to, that there's something to it. You know, you're going to a draw. Simone Biles is going for her blank gold, and we're going to watch it together, and then do a bit out of it. Have your own Olympics. You know, I used to, you know, the Bastards Day barbecue, where we used to do the Bastards Day Olympics, you know, do that kind of thing around it. It's a draw. People like that kind of shit. It's just missing from the entertainment world. You know what I mean? Like the Olympics now, watching it, I got to tell you this about the Olympics. Watching, I'm kind of hot and cold with the Olympics. Like I try to force I don't know if anybody else is like this. You force yourself to watch it because you love the United States, right? But when you turn it on, you either, not every time, but you'll get disappointed or you'll find a way to laugh at something. You know, like I turned it on and they they did this cutaway where this guy, I didn't know who he was. I mean, I've seen him before, but I've seen him in a political arena. Steve Kornacki is his name with NBC. And he's like the numbers guy for NBC when it comes to the politics, especially during the elections. And he runs it down and he gets on the little magistrator thing and he'll tell you the numbers, and he's just a genius when it comes to numbers. Well, this dude is doing the same thing with women's gymnastics. And I'm like, how the fuck does Steve Kornacki, who's a political numbers guy, know so much about the gymnastics? Like, I don't believe you. Like, the credibility is just not there. I don't think you're allowed to factually talk numbers with gymnastics.
I mean, it's a storyline, right? Like, he's just getting fed like, hey, these are the stories you need to talk about. Because I think it was the men's soccer team. I had heard a stat like when they scored a goal against Guinea or New Zealand, and they were like, that's the men's soccer's first goal in 16 years or 12 years. And I'm like, wait, what? We haven't scored a goal in 3 Olympics? And they said it like 5 times. I still have not fact checked that. I don't believe it, but they're just getting fed these numbers, right? From somebody that's like, ooh, this is going to be interesting. The female's, 6'8", and her partner in volleyball is only 5'8", and it's because of X, Y, and Z. And you're like, okay, I guess I'll talk about it.
Yeah, that's not what this Steve Kornacki guy is doing. He wasn't getting fed shit. This dude was ad-libbing numbers, and I believe him. Like, I think he memorized them. And I'm going, this guy, there's no way. Like, you were just talking politics the other day. I believe you with the politics numbers. There's no way you're rattling off. It's kind of like a sports science type of thing. It wasn't fact history of gymnastics. It was, it's like, well, her normal jump is 5 foot 8 inches. And if you take that with the 10 foot of the draw, you can minus 3 foot there. And I'm telling you right now, she's going to jump 7 feet. By next thing you know, the chick jumps 7 fucking feet. And I'm going, Jesus, this Steve Kornacki guy's genius, but I still don't believe him because he talks politics and not gymnastics.
I mean, he's got to be smart, right? Like, if you get on any major news network and you're talking political talking points, or I'm not going to say like anchors. I don't think anchors are geniuses, right? Like Ron Burgundy. But when you're talking numbers, some of these people just have that, man. Like, he probably has a lot of useless information. Every time the Olympics comes around, he's like, hell yeah.
Been waiting for 4 years to rattle this shit up.
Well, if I were NBC, anybody that I used for politics, I would not use for the Olympics.
He's a numbers guy. I think he's an analytics guy and numbers guy, Just
yeah, but if you use them mostly for politics, you just don't want to mix the two. And that's all the Olympics has become. The boxing, the women's boxing with the girl that they thought was a guy, then they had to finally, it took 8 hours to come out that she was born a chick. And then the whole internet world goes after each other. And you've got the people that don't believe, the dude should be. By the way, did you know that the Olympics does, as long as you can pass like a 12-point inspection, you can be, I don't know if you identify or you have to have the plumbing by the age of 12.
So wait, so was that a dude?
No, they just had the chick. They had just a lot of extra testosterone, which I kind of feel like is an performance enhancing drug, unless you're a male, because that's not normally. I mean, I know women have some testosterone, but usually estrogen, and she just has a lot of testosterone.
Yeah, that story got way out of hand real fast.
It did.
Nobody fact checked it, and there's a lot of people.
She was throwing heat,
and she looked like a dude. There's no doubt about it. I mean, there's no doubt that she's got extra testosterone. I mean, they're like, she's very dude-like, but she was born a woman, and then but for the it doesn't bother me to say, there's no place for women in men's sports and men in women's sports. That's why there are 2 different sports. There's just, it's not safe. This is not I don't care about your feelings of what you're going through with your sexuality. Has nothing to do with that. In my opinion.
You don't even think it's okay for like a woman to play like men's football?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but she's gonna get fucking hammered. She's not gonna have an unfair ability. She's gonna get fucking hammered.
No, the opposite. The guy is going to get injured because there is no guy on a football field that is going to hit a woman 100%.
You don't think Ray Rice would do it?
You just got to have one dude hit her, and she's done.
Ray Rice would actually. I take that back. There are probably a lot of guys in the NFL that would hit her 100%. I take that back. I stand corrected. You are
Legal this time. It's legal.
Tony
Thank
Gonzalez
God.
is happy.
That's why I signed my bitch up for it. That's what.
Like, why are all of your ex-girlfriends trying out for the team? I know it's weird, but line them up.
That bitch gave me imitation crab on a bagel.
Oh God.
And I've said this for years, even before it became, a clickbait, is that when you have, like men and women's sport is the opposite. The man, it's not that the man's going to be better. It's just, there's going to be a different mindset going into it. And that's what, like, for a woman to be in a man's sport, unless it's mixed, like mixed tennis or volleyball or something like that. If you put a woman on a football field, and I don't care if it's a kicker or something, auxiliary, no, I don't want to say auxiliary, but you know what I'm saying, not a skilled position, the guy's not going to do it. You can see it now, which proves my point. And since they put women in the referee position, I think every referee in the NFL should be a woman, because the men are not going to talk to them and take advantage of them like they do to guy referees.
I agree with that.
And watch this NFL season. Watch how the players, if they think it's a bad call and it's a male ref, watch how they act to the male ref versus the female ref. They're not going to disrespect the female ref. They're not going to.
I think they kind of feel sorry for her. It's like, this girl doesn't know football. They don't know. She don't know what's happening.
No, they know the repercussions, and they know social media will destroy them if they get up and start yelling at the woman. So for anybody that thinks there's not a double standard, you're a fucking idiot. There is a double standard, and it's okay. Men are supposed to respect women. There's supposed to be there's the old cavalier thinking. There's the old being chivalrous, right, to a woman. It's okay that exists. That doesn't mean women can't do the same thing that men do in the business world, or, know more about cars or anything. That's not the argument. It's not the argument at all. And that's where it gets twisted. It's like, it's a case-by-case basis where you have to understand, if this is a men's sport, men should be competing, and they should not have a disadvantage of having to have a different mindset that a woman is playing in that sport. And same vice versa with a woman. Now, for those that are transgender, they should have their own category, because they're a different makeup. It doesn't mean that I don't care about your feelings and your questioning and the hardships and the oppression and all that stuff. It doesn't mean that at all. It doesn't mean that I vote right or vote left, or it doesn't mean any of that at all. It's a mindset for an athlete to go into a competition knowing their competition and what they're going up against. When you put that wrench in it, it fucks everything up. You know what I mean? Like, there's no man that's going to, like, when I would play mixed doubles in tennis, for example, I'm not going to hit the ball as hard as I would hit as a guy at a woman. Now, I know you can, because that's the sport, right? But it's a dick move. I'm not going to slam a ball on a woman's face if it's an overhead that's sitting there. I'm going to do my best to hit it towards the guy or in a different direction or do a different shot. It's just a dick move. That's not what we do.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be a trans league soon, just for the fact that I think it's next year they're coming out with the PED league, aren't they? Where they're allowing the athletes to have whatever drugs they want in their system.
Yeah, that's kind of a gimmick thing that somebody's putting together, and it's overseas. It's not in the United States. I think
it's a good idea, though. They have like super soldiers. I think I know for a fact. I think track and field and a few other, because I saw the commercial. I think it was during the Olympics or sometime I saw. But this dude's like faster than Usain Bolt, but he can't compete because he's on PEDs. But I'm like all for it. I'm like, dude, you want to juice yourself up and might have a heart attack anytime you wake up? Go ahead, dude. I want to see you run a 40 in 2 seconds. Go ahead.
Well, if you take steroids, if you're doing the synthetic, for example, I think there's a lot of things on the banned substance list that shouldn't be banned. I agree that professional athletes like take somebody that is great at what they do. Like take Tom Brady, for example. Well, let's just say he's 40. I don't know how old he is, but let's just say he's 40. I mean, he retired because he was getting
46.
Old. He's what?
He's 46.
46. Okay. 46. He can still play, right? But his body is just not the same. Now, if he were allowed to take testosterone, not steroids, but testosterone, and have the same testosterone level as somebody that's 21, why not? He should. I'm very
not do that in NFL.
No, oh God, no. You know, so I'm very much pro testosterone, especially for anybody over 40. I mean, I take it. There's no reason why my testosterone level should not be the same as what I was at 21. If medically under doctor supervision, I can do it. Now, when it comes to synthetics or even testosterone, I guess, steroids don't make you more talented. They make you faster. They make you stronger, but they're not going to make you more talented. The hardest thing to probably do in any sport is to hit a 98-mile-per-hour fastball, right? Taking a steroid's not going to make your vision better to see that fastball and to see the threads on the ball. Now, when you connect, and if you connect in the right spot, the sweet spot, yeah, you're going to have more power behind it, you know, of course. But it's not going to make you more talented to do that. It's not going to make you, if you're a quarterback, it's not going to make you go through your progressions better. It might make you throw the ball farther, but it's not going to make you check down to your running back and under pressure. Might make you run from the defensive end faster. You see what I'm saying? There's a big misconception of taking PEDs, especially synthetics. It doesn't make you more talented. It makes you stronger. It makes you faster.
To kind of piggyback on your point, and I had an investigation in 2013 in Florida where we were trying to bust a drug ring in the Panhandle, and there was a bunch of military members that were involved in this drug ring. And we started finding all these guys. We brought them all in. We searched the dormitories. We found a crap ton of steroids. I mean, intent to distribute level, right? So we started interviewing them all. Every one of them said the same thing: bigger, stronger, faster. And they were all special forces. Like they were all special forces guys. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, that's a load of crap. So we were trying to get them booted from the military, kicked out, you know, court-martialed, all that stuff. When it finally,
the military doesn't allow steroids?
No. But when it came down to it, we did the investigation because of their unit and because of what they did. When we interviewed the management, I'm talking high up officers in their chain of command, the three words that kept coming out was bigger, stronger, faster. And that was coming from colonels saying, we're going to let this one slide.
Yeah.
Pick one that you want to bust. Pick one. You're not busting all 30 of them. You're not doing it because these guys, they're going to be the front lines. These are the special forces, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is insane. Like we're holding this standard in the military. You know, if you're a crew chief or you're a cook, you can't use steroids. But if you're special forces or whatever, hell yeah, man, do it all day because we need the biggest, the strongest, and the fastest on that front line. So I think I agree with you. I don't think they should be illegal. I think that it's your life. If you want to do it and you want to make yourself, and especially in that situation where you have military members that are sacrificing their life, why would you not want them to be bigger, stronger, and faster if they wanted to do it and they voluntarily did it? But that's something that they now say you can't do.
Now the FDA has actually approved, you know, when I was growing up, the three big steroids were Deca, Winnie, and Russian D-ball. And so those are the three that you get your hand on. And you'd always say, you know, if I want to bulk up, I'm going to do Russian D-ball, which was usually a pill, and you didn't want to do the needle. If I wanted to get shredded, I'd take Winnie. And then like Deca was kind of in the middle of a little bit of both, but still you had to take it via needle, right? The FDA has approved Deca. So now it is legal under doctor supervision. Again, steroids are bad when you are not supervised. You know, like everybody's like, oh, your dick's going to shrink and you're going to die. Those people that you see that are dying young of steroids, professional wrestlers, bodybuilders, those types of people, they were what's called stacking. And they were just juicing nonstop, shooting it in their bodies. And, you know, and then they would offset it with something else and they would do this. I mean, just their body just became one toxic cesspool. You know what I mean? Now what's happening, and unfortunately insurance for guys doesn't do anything for you. You have to pay out of pocket. But you go to a testosterone clinic like in Atlanta, I used to endorse Nuber T. And I don't know if they're even still around. I don't see them post them anymore. But you would go in and you would have a nurse practitioner. They would do your blood work every 3 months or whatever, and they would look at your levels. And if your levels, you're making sure you're taking this for too much estrogen, too little estrogen, so all of your level, so your liver's not failing, your prostate, all these different things. These guys that just get it off the black market. Like I had a friend that was doing testosterone maintenance off the black market, and he would tell me, he'd be like, dude, I'm getting man tits. And I'm like, well, are you taking, A, B, and C? He's like, no, am I supposed to? I'm like, yes, you are. You can't just do that without taking these other things because your levels are going to get off. You're fucking your body up. It's just not that simple. You've got to do the right things. You can't take steroids and not exercise and not work out or nothing's going to happen. All you're going to do is get your mouth big and your jaw's huge because the only muscles you're using are your mouth muscles when you eat. And I've seen that before. You know what I mean? Like just big fucking jaws, those big squared fat faces, and their body's still the same. They're like, why aren't I getting any bigger? I'm like, you going to the gym? No, but I'm eating a shit ton. I'm like, well, that's why you look fucking goofy. You know what I mean? So, to think that professional athletes aren't juicing is crazy.
Yeah, I think we should let them, dude. I mean, fuck it. If they want to do it, let them do it. We pay to watch, the best athletes in the world compete, whether it's in football, soccer, baseball, Olympics, whatever. Like, if you can be better, fuck it, take drugs, be better.
Well, the problem that you also run into is there's a mentality, which I subscribe to, is that when you get to that level, there's always the argument with these athletes that say, I'm not a hero. I'm not a poster child for your poster boy for your kid. It's not my job. My job is to do this. I disagree with that. Once you get to that level, you have a responsibility, and your responsibility a lot of times is the kids, and you don't want to promote that you're as good as you are because you're taking a synthetic to a kid. So some kid at 10 or 11 years old is like, if I want to be like my hero, my idol, I need to start taking steroids at 12 and 13. That's a bad look.
Well, you still got to be good enough to get there in the first place. I mean, you're not just going to be a mediocre player and then just take steroids. Like you were saying earlier, it's not going to give you more skill. But a kid's like, all right, they were doing good fine before, and they just got a little extra boost now. They got like 10% more better.
But a kid's not going to understand that.
Well, that's why you got to have parents to tell them what the fuck's going on.
Then you get into other problems. So that's why it's also a huge problem with PEDs, is because do you want the upper echelon of professional athletes to be poster boys, girls for synthetics? I mean, it's that one. I don't know what to say, but I mean, that's a tough argument. Like one hand, you want to go there and be entertained. And if you're going to hit the ball 500 yards, fucking hit it 500 yards, take steroids, entertain me, bitch. Right. But on the other hand, I've got a kid that's 10, 11, 12 years old. And if they're openly promoting, be like, man, you know what? I want to thank God and I want to thank my drug dealer, because there's no way I could have hit that ball 500 yards if it weren't for Chainsaw. Chainsaw really hooked me up the other day with a good, just a bunch of Winnie and some Deca. And if it weren't for Chainsaw, I wouldn't be going into the Hall of Fame, so.
Well, I mean, kind of like Barry Bonds, you didn't see a lot of people doing steroids after that, or Derek Jeter's Genesis thing down in Florida whenever A-Rod, right? Alex Rodriguez. Yeah, not Derek Jeter. And you didn't ever see like a big influx of people doing drugs after that, so.
Well, I think the Yankees thing, that doctor, there's a documentary with him. I forget what it's called. But I think he was doing kind of like what the Lance Armstrong thing was with the blood transfusion. And they were at the forefront of the testosterone maintenance. So I don't think they were taking synthetics. I mean, I could be wrong. Chuck, you're shaking your head. You saw it. So I think it was more the blood doping. Ooh, I just popped. The blood doping and the blood and the testosterone maintenance.
Yeah, they were ahead of their time. When I say ahead of their time, they were doing things that had not been done before. Therefore, there were no rules against them. And then once the DEA got involved and they started looking at what this guy was doing, like you said, the testosterone maintenance, that was something that they never really looked at because it wasn't synthetic. So that's what he got rolled into. And that list was long though, man. There was a bunch of guys doing that, especially baseball players. And A-Rod just happened to be the one. But I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, A-Rod kept playing for many, many years. And whatever happened, happened. But and now you guys got me wanting to take steroids, which is kind of
give him more drugs.
dude. I when we started talking about this, I was like really anti-steroid. Now I'm sitting over here like, why am I not taking steroids?
I've seen you with your shirt off. You should take them at your age.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew, but my fear is the man boobs or not working out enough. You know what I mean? And then it's like, why am I wasting money to look like this?
Well, you got to do something because you don't want to look like that forever. And you know what, Chuck, you fucked it up because you got one of those thug life tattoos on your abs, and you got it when you probably had abs, and now you're 45 years old and you don't have the same body, and you still got that stupid cursive thug life tattoo on your chest.
Yeah.
So you should take steroids. I think at your age, you need to look. You need to do something because if not, your wife's going to be looking another way.
I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to start looking into the testosterone maintenance and see if I can get somebody to hook me up to a machine like once a week.
Why do you need to be hooked up to a machine?
Because I want to do it like RoboCop. I don't want to like do it like myself, whatever. I want to be able to go in somewhere. You put me on like a dialysis machine, but instead of taking my blood and cleaning it, you're just putting testosterone into me.
No, it's not how they do it. There's two different ways. You can do it. You can do the pellet version, which I did, was okay. There's a lot of people that are anti-pellet, and I understand why. So they'll make an incision in your ass cheek. They'll put a time-release testosterone pellet in your ass cheek. And then every 3 months, 6 months, you come back and they put more pellets in there. I did that when I was in California because that's all they offered. And the argument to that is testosterone needs to go straight to your bloodstream, not via pellet form, time release through your ass cheek into your blood. The syringe method, the injectable, which I will be back to doing here. I got to go this week to my buddy Jeremy's place. And but when I started it, it was one injection a week, and I've got no problem with needles. But there's a better way to do it by taking half of the dose twice a week, because that gets away from the peaks and valleys. So when you first inject it, you'll have a peak. And then as the week goes down, you start to get into the valley. So if you split that up like Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday or something, then you'll always be at the peak. You see what I'm saying? So not a big deal.
I just envisioned remember the program? What's the big
Yeah.
guy's name that like put his head through the windows, like seat at the table. That's what I'm envisioning me being like if I do it.
You definitely will get a burst of energy. When I first started doing testosterone maintenance, because I've taken steroids before, and so I know the feeling that you get, kind of an uncontrollable feeling. And so at the beginning, you have to keep an eye on that, especially if you have, and you don't really have a temper. I do. So you will find yourself at times kind of maybe going off on things.
Yeah, like aggressively jacking off in the subway bathroom.
That's exactly what I was talking about. I don't know if you guys have seen the police report, but I got caught. So
yeah, they tried to bury that one, but I found it.
yeah, I know you did. You mean Subway, the restaurant, right?
Yeah, any subway you could find back in the day.
Yeah. The joke
What I saw.
The joke was, yeah, he sure isn't 12 inches.
Fuck you. We're in the bathroom. Whack, 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 whack.
Quack, 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 quack. So anyway, Snoop Dogg is Mr. USA. I think that's kind of cool, even though that makes us all hypocrites because we like to cancel everybody. But for a guy that was on trial for murder and was once in a gang, and I'm not crashing down on Snoop Dogg, I'm just telling you who he is. We have a tendency to bring people down for what they did in the past. You can't get anybody more entertaining than Snoop Dogg, I got to tell you. And for him to be like Mr. USA at the Olympics, I think is fucking awesome. But for those people that like to tear people down because of their past and are a supporter of Snoop Dogg, you're a fucking hypocrite. and you should be slapped in the face with a salami. You know, you can't pick and choose on who you're going to support in their past. And he has got a checkered past, right? But I think
he's changed, man. He's changed. He's a different person now.
Yeah, when are we going to get weed legal nationwide now that he's carrying the torch for the USA and that man smokes pound a day?
He is America's grandpa.
Do you think that if Snoop Dogg were to run for president, he'd have a chance to win?
No.
Yeah, he'd turn into Trump. People that loved him would start hating him.
Yep.
All the people in Hollywood that love him would turn their heel.
You think
Fucking
so?
hate the dude. Oh, yeah. I mean, the same thing happened with Trump. So many people loved him before. And then when he started running for president, everyone hated him.
There's a video that's circulating of Trump and Whoopi Goldberg, who, you know, Whoopi Goldberg on a daily basis goes on her TV show and trashes him, right? But there's a montage of Whoopi and Donald Trump going how much they love each other, you know, because he was part of that celebrity ring. You know, he was part of that Hollywood ring that Republicans love to bash, but that's exactly who he is, you know, which again, hypocritical from Republicans of, you know, like, oh, all the celebrities are Democrats and they like the Democrats. That's what Donald Trump is. You know,
They're jealous. They didn't get that power that he did. They're like, oh, fuck you can't have that power. You're already rich as shit. Now you're president.
Well, no, Trump gave the ultimate receipt. He was like, fuck you. If you're not going to invite me in your world, I'm just going to run it. How about that?
Yeah.
You know, so that I know his mindset, you know, that's what he said. He's like, all right, you guys want to be like this? Watch this. And then he went and did his thing. He's like, that's great. You just had a big movie. I'm president of the United States. I'm the most powerful man in the world. Okay. Yeah. Fuck you and your Hollywood party. He just gave him the ultimate receipt. That's all he did. All right. The other thing, at least up to this recording, things I saw at the Olympics, there's a pole vaulter that fucked up because his dick was too big. Did you see that?
Yeah, his weenie done knocked it down.
Yeah.
I'm not commenting on this one.
If he was trans, man, he would have been okay.
Right. Exactly.
Why
aren't you commenting?
Because every time I talk about a wiener, you guys bring it up for 2 weeks. So I'm not talking about it.
He's shy about it now.
He's shy about it now. But how cool is that? You're an Olympic athlete. You're that good. You're the best in the world to make it to the Olympics. And you're doing it and you're pole vaulter and you go to vault your pole, but your pole gets stuck on your man pole. Like, fuck the Olympics. Fuck your gold medal. Chicks are going to want this guy more than anyone. This is bigger than the Olympics. If you're a guy and your dick gets caught on the pole vault, ruining your chance at a gold medal, that's bigger than the Olympics. That's gold medal. Like, I would die to have that happen. There's no way that happened to me.
I bet some girl like flashed in the crowd right before he got a little bit of a chub. And he's like, oh no, I haven't practiced like this before. Now you know if you're a pole vaulter, you got to practice with a boner.
If I were him, I'd become a porn star and call myself Dick Metal. But MEDAL. That's what I would be. Dick Metal. That guy's badass. Like, did you see the video?
Yeah.
He wasn't even hard. He was just chubby. Like, he was.
I think he was chubbed.
He was chubbed up, but I mean, he wasn't like he wasn't like he didn't rub it. Like, he didn't rub it on his sweatpants or anything. He was just hung.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I think he started. He about got ready to run. Saw a pair of tits in the crowd. He got a little hard, and he didn't calculate how far he had to run, and the chub didn't go down enough. He was still a little about 10-15% chubbed up.
I mean, you think about every guy's been in a situation where you can't do something because you have an erection, especially when you're younger and you can't control it. You know, so you have to wait it out. You have to think of things. This dude in the Olympics, he got screwed over in his pole vaulting event because of his penis. Like, I got to tell you, he's a young guy. He's got that story to tell forever. He can have his pick of any woman in the world. What he went through is bigger than winning a gold medal.
He'll be at a bar. He'll be like, yeah, I would have won silver or gold, but my cock was just too big, man.
And they would go, oh my God, you're the Dick Metal guy. You're Dick pole vault. Oh my God, that's awesome. Be like, yeah. And then the girl, what is she going to do? Oh, I want to see it. Right. That's what you do.
Yeah. I think he's golden. He's set. He didn't get the gold, but he's golden.
I don't, Chuck, why are you being weird right now? Why don't you?
Because I just every time I talk about penises, it comes back to haunt me.
You talked about penis. It was just you were creepy about the Netflix show, The Bank.
Okay. All I'm gonna say is, how did he make it that far with it never being an issue before?
That's what I'm saying. He had to have seen something in the crowd.
Oh my
No,
God.
I'm saying like, dude,
Is that all you think about? You're so weird. Like you're thinking about that, like you saw it before anybody else. You're like, oh my God, how's he
No,
going?
dude, as soon as I saw it, I looked at Megan. I was like, $100 says Jason brings this up on the show and like says something to me. Like every time I see something like that, I'm like, well, there it is. This is gonna get brought up.
No, I promise you.
Part of your personality.
I promise you, I did not. I didn't even think about it. I didn't think about the Netflix thing until you brought it up. I did not think of you when I saw the pole vaulter's penis. I promise you that.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, I bet Chuck's loving this right now.
That's on my DVR.
I could hear Chuck when I was watching it.
It'll be December. You're like, what are you watching? I just pole vaulting. Watching
Olympics again, man. It was so good.
You guys aren't watching the Olympics still? I just trying to figure out what's going on here.
Just getting caught up.
Chuck, that was 2 years ago. I'm just getting ready for the next one.
Watching that pole vault event from 2024.
But pole vaulting lasts like 3 hours, man.
Yeah, just keep rewinding it. Fast.
Guy keeps jumping.
Pausing it. He's gonna have like a blown up pistol. That's gonna be a screenshot on his phone. Wallpaper. I don't even know the guy's name. What was the other thing I saw? Oh, Team USA fired their volleyball coach, men's volleyball coach, like in the middle of everything.
Was that beach volleyball or like the real team?
Beach volleyball.
Oh,
because they lost to Cuba.
They're not very good, man.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Canada got in trouble too because they were spying on New Zealand.
Son of a bitches, Canada, those sneaky bastards.
Yeah, those fuckers with a drone.
Did you see the American female team, volleyball team? The
Yeah,
girls, the two. No, I'm talking about the two, not the whole team. The twosome.
Yeah, the beach volleyball. Oh,
Not attractive.
you talking about that one? The big chick though, big chick that we've been seeing. That's rugby, isn't it?
No, she's like a ginger, which I thought was weird anyway. Because I mean, to be beach volleyball, don't you got to like spend a lot of time in the sun?
Yeah, probably bad for her skin. She's alabaster.
So, they did win. They're moving on. They beat France.
Is it? I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about. How is it possible to be a woman beach volleyball person and not be attractive to somebody?
Neither of them. Like the entire team. There's two of them. Both we're batting 100% there on.
Chuck's watching. He's like, "Fuck this."
Yeah. Well, I told you that's my jam. Like, if I'm gonna turn on an Olympic sport, it's gonna be the beach volleyball. Like, that's a no brainer. And France did not disappoint. I'm just like 10, dude. And then I see the Americans, and I'm like, what?
Her name Corinne Quiggle.
Is she a ginger?
All right, I googled ginger.
Just put the female beach volleyball U.S. team.
Carrie Walsh.
No, Carrie Walsh's last Olympics. She's great. She's beautiful.
She's got red hair.
She's more of a.
So what am I googling?
The current 2024 women's U.S. Olympic beach volleyball team. And there's two of them. And the female is a ginger. She's probably 6'4". And then the other girl's a blonde, and she's looking like she's like 5'9", 5'10".
Beach volleyball.
Yeah, but oh my God, like nowhere near what the standard that we have set as Americans with our beach volleyball players.
Oh, I got her. I think I got her. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is this her?
Get her close. Let me see her face. Is her smile kind of weird? That could be her. No, that girl looks way prettier.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about?
You're gonna have to watch it. I'm saying you're gonna be like, yep, okay, we see what you're talking about. Like even her, like you're used to seeing beach volleyball players are very athletic.
Oh, hold on,
right?
hold on.
Like 6 packs and stuff. She's not that.
Is this her?
I mean, maybe. Does she have a tattoo under her chest?
How can you call this woman not attractive and not know what she looks like?
You're blurry. Does she have a
Probably the one that's not
does she have
hot.
a tattoo under her chest?
Under her breast?
Yeah.
Yeah, like writing?
Yep.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, that's her. But that's that picture was photoshopped.
She's attractive. What are you talking about?
Negative. Go to images and find one that she didn't choose to put up.
Sarah, this is from the USA roster. Sarah Hughes or Kelly Chang. She doesn't look like a Chang.
Well, the other one's blonde, so she doesn't look like Chang either. Yeah, you find an image from her that's not selected. It's crazy.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Every picture I see are beautiful babies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the best Olympic so far was Scotty Scheffler coming from behind to win the gold.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That was insane. I saw it this morning. I was like, holy fuck, how did John Rahm fuck up that bad? Came back. He wasn't in the lead at all for the first 3 days. Comes back, wins. I mean, that's a fucking story to tell. Number 1 golfer in the world, and he wins the Olympics.
I can appreciate everything you're saying. I'm just not a golf guy, but
I love golf.
He's an American, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go. Team USA. I think we're crushing everybody right now.
Oh, yeah, we're in the lead. We got we're tied with China for the most medals, but we got 71 total. China has 45. France has 44.
When's the trampoline happening?
What?
They probably saved that for the closing ceremonies.
Trampoline.
Yeah, that's an Olympic sport this year. Trampolining. No, seriously. Yeah, trampoline.
I watched 3-on-3 basketball the other day because we talked about it. That was painful.
We got dominated, didn't we?
I don't know. I watched China play us, and China has I'm thinking it's men on their team, and we have 3 45-year-old females. I don't know what the rules are.
Well,
but
look, we got the WNBA. Where do you think we're pulling these chicks from?
No. These girls were retired. I mean, they're old.
Is 3-on-3, is it mixed?
No, there was 4 chicks, and it's terrible to watch. They're just doing little baby layups.
4 women, 3 women versus 4 guys. What?
It's 3-on-3, but you have one alternate, one sub. They sub in, but you can't have a coach on the floor, and it's nonstop, and the timer's running, and it's make it, take it. It's exactly like street ball. You hit the rim, you got to take it back, but it never stops. And these people are terrible. I would mop the floor with these chicks.
Yeah, our men's basketball team dominating.
I don't know. I stopped watching. Pretty good. They beat Serbia, and I lost money.
Yeah. There's no vibe.
Thought Serbia was gonna beat them.
The money was good. There was a good payout. I took it.
There's no like the last time Michael Phelps. Everybody was excited. And you saw when that guy beat his record, right? And he was so disappointed. That was good shit. That's honest, right? When a lot of times the guy will know the camera's on it and they'll, oh yeah, records are made to be broken. Fuck that. Michael Phelps was in the stands seeing the guy break his record and his hands go to his face and was like, ah, shit, man. I hate that son of a... That's a true emotion. Nobody wants their record to be broke. Good for you, Michael Phelps, for being true on TV. I like that shit. And he's got a man bun. He's got a beard. He's all potted up now. He's good. I like it. I like him better now than I did then. But there's no Olympic event happening now that the country's excited about. There's no vibe where you go to the Ace Hardware or the grocery store and you hear people talking about it. Like the men's soccer team from back in the day or Michael Phelps. There's none of that happening right now. We need that kind of burst, not to take away anything from Snoop Dogg, but he's the biggest attraction to the Olympics right now.
I don't know. I think Simone Biles, that team was probably the biggest draw for Americans. I mean, they did a lot of stuff on the Simone Biles and the other gymnasts. I don't know the other gymnast names, but they won gold.
Yeah. Well, then he also the Sha'Carri Richardson running. Yeah. She got second, but
yeah, she got beat by that other person.
I think it was Brazilian.
Yeah, I don't know. I was going to say I don't know what country they're from, but
St. Lucia, I believe.
Yeah, St. Lucia. It was their first Olympic gold ever.
It's kind of like Cool Runnings.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. We're going to the Olympics in Paris. We are going to run a race. We are going to win a gold and shove it in your face. We are St. Lucia. We are in the Olympics, and we are fast as shit. If you can beat us, good for you. But I doubt it's happening. So fuck you. Olympics, St. Lucia. I'm really fast. Kiss my ass. You did not win. You get the silver. I laugh in your face because I'm from a St. Lucia. How about that? Yeah, man.
I don't know. Where's the Yaman? I don't think they're Jamaican.
I thought that was part of I don't know. Sorry.
I mean, they're barely a country and you just insulted them.
I don't think I insulted them. I gave them a really cool.
This is why I like it when Jason drinks vodka drinks before, like for like hours before we record, and then he just comes up with a song and just sings it. I like it. I think we should do that every time.
I'm going to perform it at Podcast Imports 3 too, right after Brandon.
Oh, there you go.
All right, Brandon, do you have your one question ready to rock?
Yeah.
Here we go.
One question with Brandon.
People still think that's political when we play that in the intro. I'm talking about the B-Man, Brandon Thrasher. Get your heads out of the gutters, you sons of bitches. All right. I'd say you can sponsor the segment because we're always looking for sponsors, even for segments. But I'm worried to do that because sometimes Brandon's not here, and then I wouldn't be able to read the sponsors.
It happens. It happens. Anyway, we're talking about trans leagues and PED leagues. I want to know why/how can we create a drunk driving league? I think that'd be very interesting. You got a lot of good drunk drivers out there, and I was thinking about doing it.
You mean like people racing, but under the influence of something?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, like a drunk driving league. You got your different classes of BACs. You got some people that are a little above the legal limit, maybe like a 0.09. Then you got people that are hammered, like a 0.23 driving. And there's like 3 courses. You driving
all the time.
Yeah, but we need a sanctioned league, I think, right?
Just go to Andretti's. Just go to Andretti's on a Saturday night.
Now we gotta have cars, like a demolition derby, but everyone's drunk. But it's a race. Then you gotta run from cops.
I think the problem that you're going to find is sponsors.
Wow, you get like Bud Light or something.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know if you've noticed this about alcohol now. They're actually promoting drinking water after you have a drink. So I don't think that's a big. Yeah, Brandon, your ideas are good when you think of them, and then when you say them, you just don't think them through a little bit. I understand the idea and the concept. Now you're talking about controlled, right? You're not talking about out on the streets.
Yeah, no, we'd be like at a track or a private field.
I just don't think there's any money in it.
Why not, dude? You got people that want to compete. You got a lot of drunk drivers. A lot of people get practice.
But
I've seen some good drunk drivers.
But the whole point of watching racing is to watch the wrecks.
You don't think drunk people are going to wreck?
That's the problem. They're all going to wreck. You
had the best one come out at the end.
Yeah, and then you worry about safety, of course. That's a factor.
Why can't you do go-karts again?
It's not cars, man. It's not cars. You got to have cars.
Like Formula One on a minor scale.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah.
Fucking Formula One is the biggest fucking sport in the world, man. You know what we should do? We should have an event at a sub shop, and it's going to draw in ones of people.
Ones of people.
Fucking
I think
ever.
I know. I think it'd be fun. I would watch drunk driving races. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. Maybe a Thursday night. Compete with XFL.
Okay, so the problem is there's no money in it because you're not going to get any sponsors. Now, if you do like a bar Olympics, like have you ever seen the movie Revenge of the Nerds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they're competing in the Olympics, the fraternity Olympic thing that they're whatever it's called, they have the different events where they, they're on the tricycle and they got to down a pitcher of beer and they go and they drive around the pitcher of beer and the pitcher of beer and the pitcher of beer, that kind of thing. If you goof it up like that, but they get behind the wheel of a car, there's no money in it. You're not going to, now if you're looking at it for not money and you're looking for the laughs, do the go-kart thing. That might be too dangerous. Do the tricycle thing, like in Revenge of the Nerds. That's funny. And you can do that in your own backyard. Like you can get tricycles, get a bunch of beer, and film it for your social media, and people would think that's funny. And you can deliver, unlike the other stuff that you're getting beat up on.
Yeah, I got to finish that one this week. But no, like drunk Olympics, that'd be a good one. But something about the drunk driving people love to do it all the time. I mean,
The
they had
pro-
a course to do it on and like win a prize, and you got people coming out there watching them, and
Yeah.
you know you can watch it on TV.
Yeah, the problem is drunk driving's really frowned upon.
Well, that's why you do it on a closed course. You give people an outlet to do their sins.
But in
Like a
Brandon,
strip club.
in
You
Brandon,
can't.
in Brandon's defense, speeding is frowned upon too, and they are speeding when they're racing.
Yeah, NASCAR, F1.
F1 is huge. Formula One is the best. It's so big you should have invented a sub shot, and ones of people will come.
Max Verstappen. You know Max
So,
Verstappen.
What about using golf carts?
golf carts would be
Oh, like souped up golf carts? Like go really fast?
No, like 20-mile-per-hour golf carts.
Well, I think you need the potential for injury. You know, that's why people watch NASCAR, football, stuff like that. The potential someone's going to get hurt. You're like,
But you're going to lose all your athletes.
Yeah,
know,
yeah, that's the other
I
problem.
can't believe I just called them athletes. You know what I mean? Like,
Your
you're going to lose
roster,
all your drivers.
your roster
Guys-
the next week is going to be empty. You're not going to have anybody to do it. They're going to be dead.
Yeah, but usually drunk drivers don't die. Usually they're pretty limp. It's just the other people they hit that die.
Why don't you do like the convict Olympics where you get like
I tried. You said it was a bad idea.
breaking and entering, run from the cops, getting tasered, and all these things that bad guys, and if you can make it through it, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to do with the convict boxing. He said that wouldn't work.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is make believe stuff right now. By the way, I've got to buy a golf cart.
For what?
So my neighbors got one. The guy that sold us the house had one. They had the same one, just different colors. And I guess there's this company in Ocala that sells them. And these things are badass. Like they've got Bluetooth and GPS and changing lights. You take the governor off, you go like 35 miles per hour.
What brand is it?
I don't remember.
Make sure it's one of the American brands or like a known brand. Don't buy one of these you see at like Home Depot or Lowe's. Don't buy any of those.
Don't get an electric one either.
This one's electric. Yeah.
Nope. Don't buy an electric.
Yeah, don't get electric.
Why?
Because in 2 years you got to replace the batteries, and it's just the same price as the fucking cart.
$2,000.
Yeah, you got to get a gas.
Gas golf cart?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I have.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But if you buy one that's not like a known brand, like you got to get like a club car or a Yamaha, one that's known. If you don't do that, then they can't work on them. Like the ones you see at Home Depot, Lowe's, those are all from China. So my golf cart guy, because I was thinking about, buying one. I was like, hey, what if I get one of these? They're cheap. And he goes, don't do it. We can't work on them. Like I cannot fix it. Like if something happens, we do not have the parts. You cannot fix them. So you got to go buy a new golf cart. So that's why I got the club car.
So here's the problem with getting a gas golf cart. If you get an electric golf cart, you then register as an electric vehicle and you get a tax. No, that's a true story. So this golf cart that he has, because he lets me drive it around, it's really cool. So he bought it for, I think it was $8,000 or $10,000, but when he went and got it registered and got the insurance for it, they looked at it as an electric vehicle. So he got like a $6,000 tax break on it. So
For the first year?
well, in general. So he paid $4,000 for it. If you do the math, it was something like that. He actually only paid like $2,800 for it after the tax. Now it's a tax. You're not getting the money. You're not getting a refund, but you're getting, you get to write it off on your taxes. So, yeah, it was like 8,800 or something like that, and he ended up paying 2,800. Anyway, it came, and he was like financing. It was like zero finance. He's paying like $240 a month for it or something. But it's pretty bad. I was like, where do you go? I mean, where we live, he's just like, I drive around. It's pretty cool. I'm like, so you're paying $240 just to drive around the neighborhood? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. He's retired. He's from New York. He's a great guy. He's just looking for shit to do and buy. So I was like, all right, that's cool, man. He's like, you got to get one. Just don't get it in he's got like this, like beach blue, kind of color. He's like, you got to get a different color. I was like, well, and now it's, when you live in a neighborhood, you always got to keep up with the Joneses. When I was in Atlanta, I was always doing shit to my house. The wives of the neighbors, they would tell their husbands, well, he's doing this. You got to do this. So they had to do stuff. So I was always that guy. So now he's got a golf cart. If I get a golf cart, I told him I'm going to wrap it with my show logo. So then he's going to have to wrap his, and then I could write it off as an expense, the whole thing for the show. You know what I'm saying?
That's a better idea and get a gas one.
Yeah, gas. Got to be gas.
But then I don't get the thing for the.
You're
You
not
get to
spending
write the whole thing
$9,000.
off though.
You're spending like $5,000, $4,000 on a good gas cart that you can work on.
It's gonna last you like 4 or 5 years too, instead
Forever.
of buying batteries every year or two.
I've had mine for 7 years. I've never had to change a battery.
Yeah, see, look at that.
So you have a battery one.
Well, it has a battery. It's like a car. It's like but it's
Single battery.
simplistic. I mean, it's a regular alternator generator or
Oh, so
alternate
yours
starter.
is gas. You're saying the battery is like.
Yeah, I got a gas one in my entire neighborhood. Everyone's got the electric because they all, oh, these are awesome. And every one of them have been complaining ever since they got them because they've got to replace all the batteries, which on a easy day is $1,500, usually $2,000 to replace the batteries. And they've all done it since I've had mine, and I haven't had to do anything. I mean, I've had 0 issues, and the gas will last you forever. And when the world goes into turmoil and they can't charge their golf carts, I'll still be riding around fighting bad people.
Fighting bad people. So don't get a battery operated lawnmower either, like one of those Ryobis.
Oh, the quiet ones. That's what are you doing? Did you do that?
I got 4 of them. No, of course I'm asking you. I'm asking.
No. The only thing you're safe with is like a battery operated like weed eater would be okay.
Yeah,
But
they'll
even
still die
then,
pretty quick.
yeah, man, I take it up to the cabin because I got one and I cannot finish on one charge. It drives me crazy.
That's what I
But
Yeah, usually the only thing electric you want is your like sawzalls and your drills and your impacts,
yeah,
stuff like that.
but you need gas for like a blower, leaf blower. Got to be gas.
Oh, I got a Mac Daddy one, dude. It's got 50-50 in the back, and put a backpack on. It's like almost like I'm gonna lift off the ground.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah, I'm being dead serious.
Yeah, they're awesome, right?
Yeah, I blow me. It's so awesome.
Is it a backpack blower?
Yeah, it's a backpack blower.
Oh
Is it
yeah,
steel?
No, it's Ryobi,
I didn't know they made gas.
which is well, they made one for me. It's old school. I've had this one for a long time. Yeah, they probably don't make it anymore. I could probably sell it for $18,000. Anyway. All right, thebaileyshow.com. Please subscribe. This is a Freebae episode. Every Wednesday we release it. Also on YouTube, our YouTube channel at The Bailey Show. If you want to watch us, do whatever. You can see me. I took a dip out. Brandon's playing with his lights. Chuck is, Chuck. So please subscribe to the rest of the episodes. You also get all the unlocked episodes. You get to participate in fun contests like the one we have going on right now, Subs for Stubs for Podcast and Pours 3, October 12th in Atlanta at Tannery Row, actually Beaufort, Georgia, where we're going to have a big party. Distinct Grace is playing. Brandon's going to perform his song. We're going to have a live podcast, special guest, the $1,000 acoustic karaoke contest. When we do a Podcast and Pours, it's a blast. There's no reason, if you listen to this podcast, for you not to be there. So for those people that are telling Chuck, I'm 54 years old, what the fuck does that mean? Do you still breathe? Do you still like to laugh? Do you still like to have a good time? Do you still like to have a drink every once in a while? Then you can come. Well, the other excuses were stupid too. So right now the tickets are only $20. They are about to go up. I can tell you that. We do have hotels blocked off if you're coming from a distance and you want to stay overnight, like we will be doing. The Beaufort
Travel Inn.
Beaufort Travel Inn. Get a hold of the Beaufort Travel Inn, ask for the BS special, and you'll get a discounted rate while rooms last. Okay. Outside of that, give us a like, share, follow on all social media at Listen to the BS via thebaileyshow.com. Please share our content. It is the only way to get other people to listen to this show. Share our content. A lot of you are really good at doing that. Thank you. If more and more people can do it, we'd appreciate it. It's very simple. I post all the time with stuff from this show. All I'm asking you to do is share it. That's all I'm asking you to do. Sign up for the newsletter, the merch, all that good stuff on the newly revamped thebaileyshow.com. And if you want to be a sponsor, also my contact information is up there. If you need a website or SEO work, we are offering that now with justtheg.com. He is great, and his stuff is on the website as well if you want to check out his stuff. All right, Chuck, anything before we get out?
Yeah, chewing tobacco does not have an expiration date. Prove me wrong.
I will. I'll send you a picture here in a minute. I don't have my dip in front of me. Brandon.
Dude, I'm about to go get some fucking tacos.
Okay. I heard we're going to get something. All right, look, we always appreciate the support. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a great and safe rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Hey, bye.
Thanks for listening. Till next time, check out thebaileyshow.com. Make sure you like, share, follow on all socials. I leave you with these parting words.
Never got a pink slip either. You know what I would get? A guy would come around to my desk and say, "Get the fuck out of here!"
What do we want to talk about?
Subscribe at thebaileyshow.com. Yeah, baby.